Hi, everybody. It's late on Thursday night here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Zipporah Wayne, my happy heart coach. Just came back in from out of town and I wanted to hop on today. Thursday is the typical day I'll be coming on. And so you can look forward to hearing from me, God willing, and sharing thoughts and connecting and being available. And God willing, sharing something that will be inspiring for you and something you can take into Shabbos with you. So today I want to talk about how to parent with positivity. So I want to share that I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, hadn't been there in years, and went to Ruby Falls. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with Ruby Falls, it's the largest underground waterfall in North America. Beautiful. You go down 26 stories in an elevator. You go through this cave that was carved out in 1928. And Leo Lambert originally found the crevice that he started caving into and found this beautiful, spectacular waterfall. And he said something. There was a plaque I saw on the side of the building. And it really inspired me. It was just so beautifully written, surprisingly. And I substituted parenting for Ruby Falls. Okay, so bear with me. I want to read this to you. So Leo Lambert said in 1928, discovering Ruby Falls, parenting, was like discovering God. At first, it's very dark, scary, and uncertain. You know what lies ahead. You don't know what lies ahead. Think about how fragile a baby is. You bump into things you didn't even realize were there. And you suffer injuries, bumps, and bruises. You fall down into sticky, sticky mud and mire and feel like you cannot go on. But you get up with the feeling that somewhere ahead lies something more wonderful than you could ever imagine. As you add light to what you discovered, you find that the things that caused you suffering and injury were wonderful, God-made things put there for you to witness and give you joy. It is all more than you ever imagined you could witness. It is God, and Ruby Falls in the Lookout Mountain Cave are God's creations made for man to enjoy. I'm just a little proud that he used me. So I see this as beautifully going with parenting. It is God, and parenting is the most beautiful gift of God's creation, where we partner with Hashem to be parents. I know people that have gone for years. As many of you know, I'm an older mom. It was not an easy thing. So Baruch Hashem for fertility, for many, for most. However, the gift of parenting is just that. It's a gift. And Rebbetzin Pavlov of She'erim once said to me, every child is a bracha. So, and I love that last line of what he said. I was very moved by it. I'm just a little proud that he used me. And we've talked before about how every child is a gift, and how Rebbetzin Miriam Feldman here in Atlanta said, they're not yours. And that went right through me, the most beautiful of ways. They're not yours. Oh my goodness. They are on loan. They're a gift. She's a gift. Our daughter is a gift from Hashem. So I wanted to go into how to parent with positivity. So Leo Lambert, we can learn from everyone. Who is wise? He who can learn from everyone. Talked about shining our light when we see. And as you add light to what you discovered, you find that the things that caused you suffering and injury were wonderful, God-made things. And they're for you to witness and give you joy. So I find this, again, beautifully ties into parenting, and that when we add light to what is challenging, we can step back for a moment, we realize that we can learn, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? It's for us. Why is this happening for me? What can we learn and grow from this? When I did a poll in the Facebook group, one big topic people want to talk about was emotional regulation. I'm going to jump over now to Rabbi Pliskin, Rabbi Zelig Pliskin, which I also like to read, and then I'll talk a little bit more further after with some thoughts and suggestions. So Rabbi Pliskin from Pinchas, Parshas Pinchas, says that our usual state should be one of peace. There are times when it is proper and even necessary to be aggressive. But since this trait is so destructive, one must be careful that it does not become part of one's nature. We become molded by our behavior. If we keep acting a certain way, it becomes part of our usual personality. There's a danger that a trait which is frequently negative and sometimes positive, depending on the circumstances, will be used negatively if it becomes part of our character. To prevent this from happening with the trait of aggression, someone who has to be aggressive on occasion should go out of his way to be extremely kind and compassionate in other instances. So I would say it's easy to become dysregulated as a parent. And how can we stay centered and grounded as much as humanly possible? Now, this is what might be a paradigm shift for some. I know it was for me. And again, I have a master's degree in school counseling. I've worked with kids and people my whole life, and I'm a pretty positive person. So most of the time, we are so wired to see what's wrong. We're wired to see what's wrong without even trying. And I often ask people, when a child does something that we want them to do, and they do it, what do we say to them? Ask yourself, what do we say to them? We might say, good job, thank you, or nothing, because we expect them to do it. However, when a child doesn't do what we want them to do, our expectation is that they should be doing it. We show up in vibrant colors with a lot more words. So this is the Nurtured Heart approach, by the way, that I'm a certified trainer for. And it really made a very big difference for my life and in my whole framework and approach to life and parenting. And I'm human. I still get frustrated. I still get annoyed. I still get tired. And I'm human. And this is something I'm constantly working on. I believe that we all, in our heart of hearts, this is who we want to be as Yidden, as Jewish people, as parents, and as people. So if we're showing up mostly when things are going wrong, what message are we giving? We're giving that I'm here for you when things are wrong. And when you're doing the right thing, I may not be as available. I might say, good job. And in my program, my 6-month program, we talk about how to see and say joyfully and express what is wonderful about our kids most of the time. Not all the time, because we're human. So things only change when we change them with Hashem's help. Things only change and improve, and we only begin to see what is good when we focus on it. At the Children's Museum today, we all want to be seen. Do we want to be seen? Do you want to be seen when things are going wrong or when things are going right? Right? So think of a supervisor who is critical, notices what we do wrong, and points that out. How inclined are we to change? I mean, we want to change because we want to keep our job. However, or are we more inspired and encouraged when they see our strengths and who we really, really are? And they know that we make mistakes. So I will say that traditional psychology and therapy works on the weaknesses and the mistakes and what is wrong. Imagine someone sitting on the couch, spilling all their problems. However, positive psychology is strengths based and focuses on what's going right. And that is how to positively parent. So the parent today at the Children's Museum said to this little boy, I see you. And I heard it and I smiled. That is all we want, to be seen, like the story with the supervisor. We want to be seen for who we are, our strengths, and yeah, we have our weaknesses, for us to be educated, right? Are you more inspired to grow and change when someone sees who we really are, our neshama, and they can nurture and grow and strengthen us in our weaknesses? Or are you more inspired to grow when someone's criticizing and saying what's wrong? Most parents, most people that you'll notice, if you start really becoming aware of it, say something when something's wrong instead of when something's going right. And good job is better than nothing. There's no blame here, by the way. There's no blame, there's no guilt, there's no judgment whatsoever. We're all on this parenting journey together. So, how to parent positively? Step one is to say what you see when they're not breaking a rule in your house. And say it with a smile, make eye contact. If it's a teenager, you say it and you walk out of the room. Oh, Mom, right? So say what you see. Be a reporter when something's going right, or just even notice what they're doing. I see you. And I'll tell you, our gal who's almost 7 now says, I noticed you did this. And hello, I'm a person, and I feel seen, like, oh, she sees what I'm doing. She noticed. So start by how to parent with positivity. If we want to make long-lasting change, we focus on the strengths in our children. Who are they really? If you're in a struggle with your kids or a particular child, think about who they really are when they're not challenging. You might have to dig a little bit deeper, than you might prefer. But think about what are the strengths. And when they're exhibiting that trait, that mida, that character trait, say something. Now, this may or may not be natural for people. It tends to be natural for me. However, it might be a shift in communication. So again, I see you is so powerful. And I have, by the way, a 25 meaningful ways to say, I love you. Respond to this email if you would like to get it. And also, if you'd like to learn more specifically about how to apply this to yourself and your parenting, please click below. And for a 20-minute connection call, be happy to talk with you, see how I can support you. So when we shine our light on what is going right in ourselves, in our parenting, and our children, it makes a world of difference. Why is Lashon Hara a thing, a challenge, so hard? Because it's easier to say what's wrong and what the problems are. The challenge is saying what's right. And especially about ourselves and our children. I want to go back to what Rabbi Pliskin said here, is our usual state should be one of peace. And how can we attain that? How can we have menuchas and nefesh and inner peace when we're focusing on what's going wrong in ourselves and our children? I think of Carrie Barcone in the Raising and Manage Masterclass series, who said, we have to believe in our children. If we don't believe in our children, who will? We have to believe in ourselves as parents. So I hope this is supportive of you and your parenting, how to parent with positivity. And it's an effort, it's a challenge. It's easier not to. And just the fact that you're listening to this shows that you are a loving, caring, devoted parent, and you want to bring out the best in yourself and your kids. So I thank you for joining me, and I hope you like the new look of the newsletter that's going to be coming out to you, God willing, weekly. And I just want to wish you a beautiful Shabbos. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. If you have any questions, please send me a message. And here's to growing and sharing your happy heart. From my happy heart coach, Sipora Wayne. All the best. Good Shabbos.